On this episode of Banterpreneurs, we discuss the amazing power of banter to completely transform your brain, your life, and your relationships.
True that.
Solopreneurs, come on down! Unpacking all your business woes on the go. Your queens of business banter, Laura and Lindsay. You're in for a hilarious half hour of unconventional, unpredictable, unadulterated solopreneur shenanigans, jam-packed with pearls of wisdom and actionable aha moments. Let's get ready to banter!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Banterpreneurs. She's Laura. She's a professional speaker. She's a new geriatric mum. I want to put new in front of geriatric. I feel bad saying geriatric. Is that okay that I said it? Is that okay? It's okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
fine.
It's fine. And she has natural light on her today.
Oh, I do. By the way, when you said a new geriatric mum, it made me think of a spice cupboard. You know, with your spice cupboard, you'll have like an old spice that you never use in the back of the cupboard that's got the plastic on still.
Yeah.
New old. That's how
new old.
Like, I've just finally had the plastic taken off of me at 41 years.
Oh my god. I mean, what is that gonna be though? Like for me it's got to be coriander because I fucking hate that shit.
Oh, I love coriander. I'm thinking like garam masala.
Okay. Oh, actually, like just true, because you're not going to use that much.
No. I've got that in my cupboard.
But you want it. But you want it. You want it there.
You might need
it.
Case. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been like for 40 years. Or my womb has been like, we might need it.
We could. It could be useful at some point.
Turns out it was eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's Lindsay. She is a creativity coach, an improv teacher, and if you're not watching this on YouTube today, she is rocking an amazing hairdo with like curls, and I was saying she looks like she could do like a moody 80s music video, and it's red as it always is, so I'm loving it. You should always look like that.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, it's just kind of a last minute thing that happened. I came out of the shower and I was like, hey, this is going back to the old new spice at the back of the thing. I had an old new hair product. So that I'm not kidding, that product is 5 years old. I have not touched it for 5 years. I smelt it. I thought, is it going to be all right? It smelled all right. So it's like, yeah, okay. And it's like this thing that's like a beach spray. So it's like as if you've been in the beach in the water. It's like a salt spray thing.
Yes, I love them.
Yeah, you spray it on and you just like scrunch the hair. You scrunch the hair. I feel like
oh my god, tell us how you do it. This is an infomercial.
Yeah, you just spray it liberally. Okay, I want to put the word liberally in there, and there's no political context to that. I'm just saying. And you just spray it and you scrunch it, and it looks like Shirley Temple-esque kind of like 80s amazing.
Oh my god, I love that for you.
Yeah, thanks so much. I'm glad you noticed, to be sure, right?
Only $9.95 for the first 10 callers.
Yeah, totally. But you won't get the 5-year-old one. Okay, that's mine.
Oh,
that's my new geriatric hairspray. So, yeah, I'm just gonna say.
New geriatric. By the way, when you were saying that, I was like, oh, it sounds like the same situation as me. Like it wasn't touched for 5 years, and then
it wasn't. Yeah.
It smelled all right.
It smelled all right. Let's do it, eh?
So
give that a go.
We had a go.
What happens, yeah? So listen, this brings us neatly, I feel, in a meta sense. This brings us neatly into what I wanted to sort of banter around today, and that is banter, because that's pretty much what we've just done, right? Well, I mean, it's what we do every episode,
yes.
Really. But I mean, just like you go from, you know, I feel bad about calling you geriatric mum. Is that okay? Yes, it's like a spice at the back of the thing. Oh, that's like a hairspray. In a sense, improv, I guess we're improvising.
Yeah, massively. Totally.
Is banter improv?
That.
I mean, I want to ask you a lot of questions about this, and sort of what I want to ask you is things like, what is banter? Why do we need it? What does it mean to you? You know, like, should more people do it? I don't know. Like, I mean, we are the Banterpreneurs, right? So it stands to reason that possibly, maybe we should do an episode on banter. I don't know.
Yes.
What do you think?
And I also think, like, when you say we are the Banterpreneurs, we should do a superhero stance. We are the Banterpreneurs.
Bringing banter to the world. Yeah.
I like this.
Okay.
I'm slightly concerned about all the questions that you have for me.
Yeah.
But we'll see what comes out my brain. Let's just put this out there right now. My new baby is 3 weeks old, so
Yep, 3 weeks, guys.
it could get completely random today. Let's find out. Let's find out, god damn it.
Yeah, that's the spirit. That's the spirit. Let's find out, Captain, and see. Shall this ship crash or shall we get to the new world?
Stay tuned to find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what? Because let me just preframe. Look, I'll preframe this a little bit.
Yes,
when we first met online, and you were kind of like, yeah, I just want to have a coffee with this girl. And I told you I only do tea, but that's irrespective. So I had a tea. I think you had a tea. I don't know. We had a tea together. And we bantered naturally, sort of, I don't know, just had a rapport, whatever. And I remember you telling me that you had a job at one time years ago, and it was like like really refreshing for you because in this sort of culture there was a lot of banter, and that was kind of, I don't know, maybe healing for you in some way. And I just found that an interesting kind of concept. So can we just kind of like unpack that a little bit? I think just as a starting point, because that's sort of
Yeah. So, well, I think first of all, maybe we should say, although I don't know that we can answer this, what banter is.
Okay.
I think you asked me that question.
What do you think
before.
it is then, eh?
Just talking a whole lot of shit, mate.
Yeah. Basically, I think banter is like a low stakes conversation. I mean, that's what I'm going to say. There's no real sort of. It's interesting because I don't want to devalue it, because I really do think there's an intrinsic value in it that I don't know exactly what it is, and I hope that we discover that in this conversation. But it's a low stakes kind of conversation. You can feel sort of free. You can feel there's not really like no one's going to die. There's not like it's just free kind of thing, I guess.
Yeah, and
is that
actually,
what it is?
Yeah, and the thing that comes into my mind as you're saying that is this slightly wanky saying, but it's all about the journey, not the destination. And I think that's possibly why I like it so much as well, is because there's not a point to what you're saying. You're not trying to. I just hate having to always have a point to things. And I'm married to a guy who loves to have a point to things. Bless him, which is probably good.
Put that point up your ass. Yeah.
Someone needs to have a point. Make sure it's a sharp fucking point up your ass.
Yeah.
But like as business owners as well, right? We're always organizing stuff. We're always thinking about stuff. We've always got something to do. There always has to be a point to things. We have to, be productive and utilize our time effectively, blah, blah, blah. And actually you're the same as me. We love our freedom. That's a very important value for us. And I think that's what it is it's a free conversation where you are just traveling along. You don't know where you're going. You don't care where you're going. It doesn't matter where you're going. You might not even go somewhere. You might leave before it gets anywhere. And so I think that's number one, what I like about it and what it is.
Yeah. Something else that occurs to me, like when you were talking then, is it's play.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a play. Like you're playing like a little kid, just making shit up. Like improv. I mean, that's obviously why I love improv. And banter is improv, really. You're improvising a conversation, not worrying about where it's going. No stakes. But it's also like how important is play in our life? Like I think that's something that as adults as well, people always ask me, why don't you do improv with kids? Well, I do, but not very often because I don't fucking need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Their whole life is that.
It's just a banter. Like their whole life is banter, right? So it's kind of like, is there that aspect to it? Is there something about being playful or having play?
I think so. And again, I think it comes back to that freedom, right? Again, in our normal lives, we are constantly having to / trying to / thinking we should fit within certain parameters. We should be doing and being these different types of things, which sometimes you do, that's fine. But I just think we've become stuck within those parameters generally. And so I think it is about us just smashing those fucking parameters down when we banter. And it's like, what's it like? I keep getting all these different images in my head.
Say them all now. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I know what it's like. When you get one of those weird things in your eyes, like a spot that just randomly
moves around
your
it's
eye.
A floater. It's called a floater. It's called a floater.
There's another
that's also a toilet thing, but I'm just saying that in your eye, I think the actual technical term for it is called a floater.
Right, so it's a floater conversation, Banter.
Yes.
And actually what you were saying about play, that brings me back to your original question about the banter that I had in the workplace, because that's what I was missing. And actually that's what I think I'm missing at this moment. Because I said, just for everyone out there, I said to Lindsay, we haven't recorded a podcast in a few weeks. We had a couple of pre-recorded ones. And
something happened though a few weeks ago that
something came out of me.
And it wasn't a floater. Oh, what was it? I don't know.
No, I know, because I couldn't do it in the bloody bath in the end. So she wasn't a floater. So I had to attend to that. Anyway, so I said to Lindsay, can we please record an episode? And I was like, it's more for my mental health than anything else, because I can feel that I'm very flat and I can feel like I need to do something that gets me back to me. And I know what gets me back to me is banter. And I think because of this play thing, because for me, again, one of my biggest values is fun.
Yes.
And, naturally, of course, I'm not going to be having heaps of fun at this moment in time. Like, I'm just a milk machine. I'm just a milk machine.
Shake me, shake me, shake me.
My milkshake brings on a boy to the earth.
All those songs. And
so
shake the milkshake, do the shake. Sorry.
This episode is over. We're just going to sing milk-related songs. Milky, milky, right? And that happened to me before when I moved to the Central Coast from Sydney in Australia. I didn't have a community of people around me. I was working at home by myself, for myself. And the same thing happened. I could feel myself getting really flat. And I realized, again, it was that. And so I then went and got myself a job and in a marketing agency, and we had banter there. And that's when I then really realized, just before you and I met, I realized the power of banter. For me, and probably for many other people, is it brought me back to myself. It allowed me to just be free, be myself, grew my confidence, weirdly, because it allows you to access all different parts of the brain. And as we go on about all the time, once you are being yourself and you're being authentic, that's kind of like the source of your power.
It's the miracle manna. That's what it is. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord.
I mean, come on, guys, this banter is like the key to life. I know. And we should start a banter cult. We should be the banter cult leaders.
The banter cult.
Banter cult. Oh, I like that. Banter cult.
100%. So if it was if we had a banter cult, like, what would you have to do in there? I mean, obviously you would have to banter.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be a sexy cult. I think we'd leave that. We'd leave that behind.
No. I don't have time for that shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Orgies and shit. I just, I got shit to do.
Drink tea and eat scones, to be honest, and talk shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely think they would definitely have to come and do like banter sessions with us for sure. That would be like a prerequisite for entrance into the cult and retention.
You've got to get your banter quota.
Exactly.
Well.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. So what happened to banter? You digress.
You're off. You're gone. So you were saying as well, and I would imagine that with the marketing thing too, for a workplace, I think banter is probably important for creating a kind of their own little culture. So you've got sort of like a culture or something that you're, speaking of cults, people, that your culture, you've got a little culture that people are, have their own sort of language or their way of you're talking to each other, and that gives you a feeling of belonging
Yes.
as well. So
Yeah.
talk to me about that.
Well, I guess it's like you are stripping down any layers or levels or
And
perceived
formalities, man.
levels and
Fuck that shit.
formalities. Like you can banter with anyone at any level if they're up
Yes.
for it, and then you're all on the same playing field. I think there's no
Yes.
that, and it's the same with improv, right? We're all the same, and we're all there to support each other and make each other look good, right? Make your partner look like a
Yes.
genius. And I think that's the playing field that you walk out onto when you're bantering, which again I think is so important because we do have so many preconceived ideas about other people and what they're thinking about us and what we think about them and comparisons and stuff. So it's just like, fuck all that. We're leaving all that on the sidelines. Let's play.
Yeah, 100%. And it occurs to me too, like listening to you then, that banter is kind of like death. It's the ultimate evener. Just evens it out. Like
Yeah.
no high status, no low status. People don't like if you're just in that banter, like you said, you could have the CEO and be bantering with the CEO because at that point that person's let down their guard.
Yeah.
They're kind of open to experience. They're open to other people's ways of looking at things and just playing with that.
Yeah. And actually, you know what's interesting is over our banterpreneur career, is that what this is? Journey?
Yeah, is it though? It's banter.
No.
Whatever. It
Whatever.
is. It is. It isn't.
Yeah. Since becoming banterpreneurs, we've had to have a couple of conversations, haven't we? You and I.
We're one. We're one. I mean, let's just.
Oh my God, that was a lot of things. About when one of us has been in the wrong, when we haven't been on the same level, right? You had to have a word with me when I went into like coach mode during an episode. I had to have a word with you when you went into like get your dick out and piss all over the place mode.
Yeah.
Tomcat, really high status. And in those times when one of us has slipped away from being on the same level as each other, it hasn't been as fun, has it? We haven't enjoyed the banter, it hasn't rolled as well. So actually that just shows you the importance of just letting go of all of the things and just being in it. That is when banter is at its best, and that is when you get the most out of it, because that's when you are completely yourself, you're completely free, and you're unlocking all these like random things in your brain. Going,
totally. And I feel like as well that it's almost, and this is going back to the cult thing, that it's almost a spiritual endeavor or a spiritual experience where it is that evener. So we are all just really people and having a good time, and we're just an essence rather than he's this person, she's that person, they're this is their experience. It's kind of like, no, here's this like open field of fucking corn that we're just going to run through. Is that a too Stephen King? I don't know, but I'm just saying there's like an open field.
I was just thinking maybe you should have a different analogy, because that open field of corn is going to flare up your allergies.
Allergies too, yeah. But anyway, it's an open field, okay? And it's kind of like there's no hierarchy.
No, there's none. There shouldn't be. Shouldn't. There you go. That's when you can enjoy it. Yeah. Gosh, banter is so powerful. Okay, so here's my question for you.
Okay.
Why do you think that people don't banter as much and don't value it?
Interesting. I mean, look, I say this even to the point that I don't know that I valued it. And I do it all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, have you just not realized that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I think because it's natural. And anything that comes natural to you, you don't really think about it. You think about all the hard shit you can't do. And go, that's really hard. But you don't. You sort of take it for granted that you have those things. So okay. Just tell me the question again. So why
do you think people don't banter as much, and why do you think they don't value it?
Okay, so why they don't do it as much? I feel like there's a certain amount of control I'm going back to my improv stuff here, where one of the main presuppositions is letting go of control. And I think you do need to do that to be in proper banter, to get into an actual flow. There's certain things like you can't be in control of the conversation. You can't want to be in control of the conversation. That is something that's really, really important. And you have to be able to laugh at yourself. And a lot of people, like, embarrassment of the self is death. Like, I've said to people, like, seriously, I've said to people in improv, listen, man, like, number one, this is the safest place you'll ever be to do stupid shit. Number one.
That's true.
But number two, when you become the person that is incapable of embarrassment, you win the fucking game. You can't be outstatus because you can't be embarrassed, right?
That's so true.
So
imagine if we didn't have embarrassment.
Yeah.
Imagine if that wasn't a thing.
Just didn't. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. Yeah. Feel that freedom? Okay, so that you know what I mean? Like, that's, you feel the freedom, hallelujah. You touch me through the screen.
Oh my God, I feel free.
Touch me.
I feel liberated.
Yeah. But I truly, truly believe that. Like, if you do some dumb shit, but you can't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're untouchable, man. You're the unbreakable
That's
person.
so true. Because, right, let's go a little bit deep for a minute.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like I should, like, again, if you're not watching, I don't even know what this dance move is.
Okay, so it's like a 60s go-go dancer move where you hold your nose like closed and go underwater.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing.
We're going down deep 60s style.
Yeah, down 60 style. 60 style.
Please keep me. I've forgotten what I was going to say. That's right. I remember. Because is it or is it not true that really, for all of us, one of our greatest fears is rejection. And that comes right down to our survival mechanism. We need people around us to survive. Therefore, we need to be accepted in order to survive. And there's a link between that and what you said.
Totally. Well, embarrassment is the ultimate rejection.
Thank you. Yes.
It is the ultimate rejection. Like, it feels like absolute, like, I hate being embarrassed as well. Like, I hate it. And I'm the kind of person that will commando roll in an RSL. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
That's fine. That is fine for me to do. But there are certain things, like, for example, an ex-guy, like an ex-boyfriend that I used to have like fights in public. That embarrasses the fucking shit out of me. I hate it. Do not argue with me in public. But if I was able to not be embarrassed by that, what action would I be able to take that was better action, rather than being all closed up and then staying with that moron, for example?
Yeah.
I don't feel any animosity yet. So,
but you've never mentioned this before.
It's seething. It's there. Okay, so if I was unable to be embarrassed by that, I could just literally just like walk away and have him
you'd handle it very
walking down the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
totally.
I think that's a really, really, really important thing, and I strive to be unembarrassable.
Oh, hashtag that shit. I am unembarrassable. Oh, I love that. I think that is the key, and I think that is what banter gives you, actually, if you fully commit to banter and improv as well, because they're one and the same, really.
I think it can help. It can definitely help to foster that sort of muscle, that strength of, okay, I'm going to say something and it's going to be dumb, or it's not going to go down well, or people are going to think, I'm weird, but that's fun. Cool.
And it might open up a doorway to something else. That's what I always tell myself when I'm doing something, whether it is banter, whether it is improv, or even if it's me brainstorming for ideas.
Yes.
I would have gone, oh, no, I'm not going to say that. That's a bit of a stupid idea. And then I decided at some point, I'm just going to say everything that comes into my brain. I'm sorry to my husband for that. He does sometimes say, you don't have to say everything, Laura. But But one idea that you might think is dumb might lead to something else. And it does. Whenever I'm brainstorming ideas, it always
100%
unlocks
does.
something. So I guess it's the key is to go, you can't be embarrassed. There are no dumb, you can't say anything.
No dumb ideas.
Nothing is off the table. And the thing I was going to say about the rejection thing as well is when we are worried about being rejected or being embarrassed, that's when we then start to behave in ways that are not aligned with who we are. That's when we start to become inauthentic. We start to do things that aren't taking us towards where we want to be. And that's when we then, live a suboptimum life, basically. I know that sounds really massive, but
I feel like that's the anti-hero to our banter heroes is suboptimum.
Suboptimus.
Suboptimus. Yeah, totally. Like that's the anti-hero.
Yeah.
Or the villain. The villain of the piece. Not hero, anti-hero. I don't know. Can I be embarrassed? No. So fuck you. Whatever.
Oh, can I try and embarrass you now?
Yeah, go.
So embarrass off. Sorry.
Let's have it. Yes, do it. So the villain is what did you say?
Suboptimus.
Suboptimus. Yeah. Yeah, totally. And to be honest as well, that and like every time I say that, I just think of Luke going, "So what? You're not usually honest?" Okay, yeah, I am. I say it all the time.
To continue to be honest, that's what you should say.
Hey, to continue to be honest, I feel like what you're talking about again is openness, freeness, whether it's brainstorming, improvising, bantering. There is an element of aliveness, I guess, that happens, that there's an openness to experience, there's an openness to where this may lead, which of course is going to open up more possibilities than shutting down where something could lead.
Exactly. And it also just makes you feel good. Like before this, I went and had a cry in the shower because I was frustrated. And then as soon as I get on here and start bantering, honestly, I feel like a completely different person in 20, 30 minutes. So, and then again, like you were just saying about
banter therapy, it's a thing. We're doing it in the coal. We're doing it in the coal.
It's only $10,000 to join the cult, by the way. So we can do payment plans as well. Because
so don't let that stop you. Payment plan, it's all fine. Put on the credit card.
Yeah, I know. In my mind, my mind now is going back to all these coaching seminars I've been to where they basically are like, I couldn't afford a coach and I got myself a new credit card and I paid $10,000 on the credit card and my life has never been the same again.
I'm sure it
That's
hasn't.
what you should do too. But anyway, for the cult, it's worth doing that. So, and then as you were saying about it opening up possibilities and things, when you feel good, now I feel better, I'm going to be able to deal with the fact that I can't always breastfeed my daughter properly. Like it's been stressing me out, but now I'm more calm. I think I'll be able to approach it differently. I might not be able to do it any better, but I'll be more open to keep trying until I do get it better. So I think that's again like the core is what it does for your mental health and the way that you feel, and then that unlocks your confidence, it unlocks your creativity, it unlocks your understanding of who you are and your ability to be who you are, it unlocks your ability to set boundaries and say no to things, and all, like I just think it's so, I hadn't realized until this conversation I always knew banter was a key thing I needed in my life, but I've never deconstructed it before. So
I told you the miracle manna. It's a miracle manna.
Oh my God. I'm healed. You're
healed, sister. Touch me through the screen. Touch me.
Raise to the banter God.
Raise it. Okay, so I've got a question for you though. I feel like all of the introverts in the room are going to be asking this question. Banter feels like a bit of an extrovert thing. Like, so can introverts do banter, and is it different? Like, because I mean, I do feel like I would just talk to the wall. You know what I mean? Like, I'm an extrovert. I'm gonna like, hey guy, like I'm just gonna. So
you know what? I think that okay. So I'm thinking about times where I used to hang out with my brother when I moved to Sydney. At that time, he was in PR for computer gaming. like the nerdy computer
Okay,
gaming.
so he's an introvert.
So he's a weird one. He's a bit of both sometimes.
Yeah.
But when I used to hang out with him, so his job was to basically just basically get journos pissed and then review his games. So when I used to hang out with him, I would hang out with a lot of computer nerds and journos, and in that world, and they would have like banter all of the time, and I wouldn't understand it because it was all from their world, and they typically are introverted, a lot of people from that world. So then now my brain is a bit confused because they can and they do have banter, but it seemed to be a little bit more specific to their interests and their world,
references and stuff.
Exactly, as opposed to just like completely open, free banter.
Okay, so is this the dark side of banter though? I don't know. Like, is this
I don't know.
Then, because if that's the case, and you can become part of a club that's like, oh, we only banter within this thing, then we get back to status, right?
Exactly, and put in parameters.
Yes.
So is that real?
I don't know. Is that real banter? Oh my God, I didn't know this was gonna happen.
Can we just edit this bit out?
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going.
Okay,
no, but
so
it will
maybe
go
they feel free within that construct. Like, they feel free within the construct. It's more like you're an outsider, you're watching this and going, look, I can't really banter with these people. I reckon you probably could. If you were kind of like using improv, you could probably use a couple of things to try and get in there. But I'm interested in that, like, as well. Is there a dark side to banter? I mean, I just feel in that sense, it's not inclusive, and I feel like by definition that banter should be something that, like, you can banter with the guy on the bus, you can banter with the chef, you can banter with the news agent, you can banter with your friends, your family. What happens then when, I don't know, what happens when banter becomes...
Maybe it's that thing, when you're building rapport, the way to build quick rapport is to be like the other person, right? You match or you mirror them, so you'll come in at the same volume, the same tempo as them, the same energy levels, the same body language, and once they're then comfortable by you being the same as them, that's when you can then start to take things in a different direction and allow them to follow you, and they are more likely to because they're comfortable and more open to that. So maybe it's similar with banter. It's that people have their comfort zone with banter when they're around people that are like them. But then perhaps that then allows a doorway to open to banter more freely once they're comfortable. So, for example, in that situation, I know that if I was able to banter with them about some computer gamey thing initially, that would gain their comfort with me, and then I could probably banter about other stuff. So maybe
I feel like I would just lower my status. I feel like I would just go, oh my God, you guys, I've never gamed like in my whole life. Can you fucking tell me about it?
Well, I think that's what I used to do, because I used to just talk about Super Mario Kart, which is like dumbest down thing to these guys. Who are building like entire universes,
cities and shit. Yeah.
So I think I did do that at that time. That this was years ago. I wasn't as comfortable in who I am, and therefore like in just bantering and and that. So I don't really know if we've answered that, but I think people do have their comfort zones even when it comes to banter.
Okay, I'm just, what I'm going to do? I'm going to say it is possible. It is possible to have a dark side of banter when it becomes a culture,
Yes.
And there's certain ways that we speak, and there's certain in-jokes we have, and there's certain whatever. So that would be something maybe but to me, that is the antithesis of banter. So it's when banter goes bad.
Oh, that's definitely like a doco series, when banter goes bad.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny.
So when it excludes other people, that's
it's not real banter. Then I feel
no.
I'm gonna put the hard line in the sand there. in the cornfield. I'm going to put a hard line down there, and I'm going to Stephen King. I can't get it out of my head. So I'm going to put a hard line then and say, look, generally speaking, if you're able to banter, it causes freedom and freedom of expression, creativity, opening your synapses, all that fucking shit. But once that banter starts getting a little fucking fence around it, you know, or maybe that banter becomes a cornfield, Stephen King cornfield.
It's like
and you're just like in there.
Aliens.
A ring,
circle,
a ring, an alien
circle.
ring. Okay, once, corn circle. Once, okay, if this bit was just chopped out and this was like the promo, people are going, what the fuck's going on?
They've had a breakdown.
So let me push through this. All right, so there's corn circle of banter, okay? And that banter is when banter goes bad, okay?
Yes.
Okay?
You don't want to be in that corn circle.
You don't want to be, okay, because that's like, now you've got parameters.
And you know what? I've noticed sometimes in some improv that there might be a person who does want to insert their belief system or, you know, something around, you know, what they do or something like that into a scene, even when it doesn't quite fit. And then I've noticed that does stall the energy of it, the flow. Yeah, it does. And it kind of like you can just feel that it's kind of throwing people off a bit, and then they're like, okay, you know, and then if they're yes-anding and being true improvised, they then have to try and figure out how to fit that in. And so it's the same thing, right? It's like, no, you're trying to put in what you want to put in here, and that's actually
well, the antithesis of it, I guess.
Experience that this could be.
Yeah. But again, I would argue that kind of thing is maybe control. Like, so the thing is that, you know, your brain looks for structure straight away. We want a category, we want a structure, and hence why in that sense with the gamers you're talking about, okay, now we've categorized it, we've got a banter little fucking pen that we play with, right? And then other people don't get it, you know. Which again is many things. It is status. You're trying to have a status of some sort. Status is always around group, sort of. This is the
and
group.
It's their comfort zone as well, right? Like we were talking about. Safe zone. They feel safe there.
Yeah, totally. So I feel like that is the antithesis to the banter that we would talk about, that we would speak about, or when we think of banter. I honestly do think it's an evener. I think it is the antithesis to status. I think that so many things can come from that place of possibility, but I've never really thought about it before, and probably wouldn't have if we didn't have the conversation, that there is a possibility to take that banter into, I guess you can almost call it jargon. So within a certain space, this is how we speak, and we can kind of riff in that place.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll give you a good example in improv. Actually, I've done a few classes in America, and they use so many American references. That you either have to pretend that you know, and then like you just make shit up, and they just fucking laugh at you, which is fine anyway. Or you just do feel a little bit on that outer, because it's kind of like, what, I don't even know what this is that they're talking about.
But then that's obviously not intentional, because that's their.
No, they got no idea, man. They can't even point to Australia on a map, man. What the hell? Where's Australia?
Yeah, that's true.
Where's Australia? You know, like I'm an anomaly. I did a scene the other day in America, and they endowed someone in the scene as I can't even remember this guy's name, Truck or something.
Chad.
I don't know what his name is, but he's some kind of right, like politician-y right kind of guy. Right. Like conservative person. Yeah. Now, because of the conversation, I picked up on the fact, this guy is some kind of right-wing conservative. But I know who that fucking was. And then we were talking about it afterwards and said, I know who the fuck that guy is. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, wow. Oh, my God, you're in a place that doesn't know who that is. Oh, my God, I wish I was there. Oh, like you know, because they
Isn't that
don't want to know who this
interesting,
guy
though?
is.
But isn't that interesting though? Because they obviously, on some level, had some status thing with this guy going on then, if they say they wish they didn't know who it was. So perhaps they weren't completely letting go and being free because they had
Yeah.
that in their mind. I don't know. Gosh, this is a big old rabbit hole, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think so. I think banter. That'll be about 20 minutes.
But it's interesting though. I think then, you know, what we spoke about before allows you to identify when you're in true banter or not. And then if you're experiencing all these other things, then it's not true banter.
Yeah, it's just a crop circle.
Yeah, it's still banter, but within parameters.
Parameters, yeah. Like insular kind of banter, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So true banter is about like level playing field.
Yep.
All bets are off. You know, everything goes. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is stupid. You can't be embarrassed. That's kind of the ultimate banter.
That's the holy grail of banter. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. That's the holy grail. However, I'm gonna try and go. Okay, so you got dark side of banter can turn into the crop circle. Crop circle. But is that still? I think it still does have a good effect on well-being, as in this little group, within this little group of people.
Yeah,
they're at least, like you said, having that primitive feeling of belonging.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so yes, it's not that it's dark in this. I'm just calling it dark because
she's a pessimist. She's a glass half empty.
Half empty, yeah.
I think that's right. I think the only time it becomes dark, and I'm doing the quotation marks, is if you are entering into that and you are unable to be on their level, like me with the gamers, for example. Yeah. So at that point, you just got to take it for what it is, right? So it might just be, you know, you might have a go and it might just not work. It's just because, you know, for what we spoke about, that their comfort zone is talking about that. They need this, they have this need to be a particular status, perhaps, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that's when you just go, all right, that's fine. This isn't a place for me to banter. That's okay. So I think it's just about recognizing those situations. You know, I'll go and find my banter crop circle where we can talk about tea and biscuits.
Yeah. Totally. And there is something nice about that too. That, I mean, is it okay? So I'm changing. I'm the banter is kind of changing. I'm getting flexible here. Yes, I feel like that's a dark side. Yes, I feel like that's not really the holy grail of what I want to do. But I do feel that yes, it could be good for well-being, and maybe I don't know. Like I wouldn't mind a little tea drinking circle.
Oh, me.
I don't know.
Too. And okay, so here's.
So is that okay? Like.
Yes,
what?
I think we need to just come back to the point of banter. It's about how it makes you feel, really, isn't it? Yeah. And then the possibilities come from that. So if it makes you feel comfortable, free, safe, relaxed, you know, calm, all those things, fucking go for it. If that happens to be in a crop circle, little side group.
Again, if this was the promo.
Yeah, you've got to listen to the whole banter.
The whole thing, guys.
To know what the heck we're talking about. But if you get that, and you'll get it from all different ones as well, and that's fine. Like we're talking about banter being free of parameters, so I don't want you guys to think we're giving you parameters for what banter is. That's not. That's not what this is about. It's about just understanding. Okay, this makes me feel good. This allows me to be myself. Let's go. This doesn't. That's all right. I'll just take it for what it is. I won't try and push it. I'll go and, you know, get it from somewhere else. And we were talking about this before we started recording this episode as well. And I was saying, you know, I wanted to do this with Lindsay because I know we can banter, and it's everything I want it to be. Whereas I know that if I catch up with a lot of my friends around here, they're not as bantery, and that's okay. But I need to know going in, I'm not going to fill my banter bucket. With those people, I'm going to fill other buckets with them. And that's important to know, because if I go in thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to have some banter,
yeah.
I ain't going to get it back, and then I'm going to be frustrated.
Disappointed. Yeah. And I think that probably leads to the question, so should everybody have a banter buddy?
Yes.
Right.
Isn't it?
That's it. Okay, guys, that's the answer to the whole thing.
Yes. I think everyone should have a banter buddy / someone or someone's.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Someone's, it is now.
Who gives them that feeling. So, for example, I've got only probably 2 to 3 people in my life where I always feel like I can 100% be myself. And I've managed to identify that. And so then I will nurture those relationships, this being one of them. So I'll make sure that I will always prioritize those relationships over other ones, and go to those people when I need, to fill up my bucket, as well as,
I feel special now.
Oh, you are special in so many ways.
Yeah, so many ways. Yeah.
And so I think that's really the kind of overarching thing here, is it's about finding the people or person that gives you that feeling of safety, of calm,
but freedom, where you can be yourself.
Freedom and play as well.
Yes.
So I think you've got those people where you can go and have a deeper meaningful, but I still think that banter gives you this element of play and freedom that really, I want to say, nothing else does. Certainly not a lot else does, I don't think.
Yeah, true.
And the unlocking of the creative brain and the shedding of the shoulds and all that kind of stuff. So and improv is the same. Improv is banter you can just have every day. Improv, of course, it's a more of a, you're going to go and
it can become a performance. You're taking those skills of banter and creating a performance out of it, basically.
Exactly. And it's kind of like a nice cycle, actually, because it's like improv. I think improv then allows you to banter better, and banter allows you to be better at improv as well.
Totally.
Banter is the everyday improv.
Yeah, I think so. I do. I really, really think so.
And so I put it to everyone out there who says that they couldn't do improv.
Yeah.
You actually do improvise every friggin' day.
Every day. Yeah. Like if you have a conversation with the post person who comes up and delivers the mail, you're improvising. Exactly. You didn't write a script for that conversation, Exactly.
Yeah. So so just, you can do improv and do it with Lindsay.
And find that person that you can just have those low stakes, really cool conversations with, that you just can go anywhere, and if you say something dumb, you're not going to be judged, and you can create a little joke on the spot about it, and you can do funny voices, or you can sing, or you can do anything, basically. Yeah.
And I wonder, okay, I don't want to open up a whole other thing, but I'm just thinking about, for example, at the moment, the best thing that we can do to develop our little baby is to just talk to her, sing, read, all these kind of things. It doesn't have to have a point to it.
No.
Because she won't get it anyway. But the point of doing that is to develop her brain and fire off all her different neurons and create neural pathways, which will help her brain develop. So I wonder, is that the same thing? Like if we're bantering and we're having these random conversations, it's, I guess, firing off different...
You get smarter, guys. You get smarter. I mean, you just do banter. You get smarter.
I mean, look at us. Look how smart we are. We're the poster girls for banter.
That's it, man. I mean, honestly, Mensa called me on the phone the other day to say, look, we want to put you in the top 10%. You know what I mean? Like, we're smart. That's what I gotta say. And it didn't just happen. This is through the banter. Okay.
It's all through the banter. Like 18 months ago, we was dumb as shit. And then we started bantering.
I started bantering 18 months ago, and I've never been smarter. Yeah.
But that must be the thing.
Synapses, neural pathways, because as well, banter, by the true form of it, you don't know where it's going. So your
Yes.
brain can't fuse too quickly together in any one position because it's like, oh, it went there, oh, it went there, oh, it went there. And that is flexibility, cognitive flexibility. I think that's really, look, that's a whole new episode.
A whole new episode.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh, I think that's probably a good place to end because it does make us sound intelligent.
I mean, yeah. And
also, I think I can hear my baby crying.
She wants to. She loves you. She wants you.
Oh my God, it's so nice to feel wanted.
You're just so needed. And she needs to talk to you and banter right now. Like, that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, I know. I banter with her, but it is a one-way banter right now, but that's all right. I think
that's
okay. A lovely rendition of my humps for her the other day.
I love it.
I drive these fuckers crazy. I do it on the daily.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got me.
Okay. I got
you. Got me.
Babe.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just about to sing, but I just didn't get it out in time. But
So to summarize.
Yes.
Did we just summarize already, or do we need to re-summarize? I think we've pretty much summarized. She's
getting a little bit frantic, the baby.
Yeah, okay. In summary, go back and listen to the last 5 minutes.
Go and listen to the episode.
Summary.
Okay, she's got to go. She's got to go. All right.
Banter and have fun.
Have fun. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Banterpreneurs. If you have a question for us to answer on the show, submit it on our website at banterpreneurs.com. And if you liked what you heard, give us a review and share the love with a fellow business mate. See you next week for more solopreneur shenanigans.